Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers: Jason steps up to protect Willow from Drew. Is a new Quartermaine war on the way? According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow had a really introspective moment when chatting to Harrison Chase in one of the most recent episodes. She reflected on her tendency of selecting men. Willow reflected on how she had been going from savior to savior one after another. Perhaps due to the worldview she adopted while in the cult. Even though Chase rejected Willow's notion, we believe she may be correct. This has happened several times throughout the years. Willow appears to be particularly drawn to men who rally around her or rush to her aid. She feels Drew is the one who brought Liesl back so that her bone marrow transplant could take place. According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow sees him as someone who saved her life and defended her. Drew appears to be poised to face some competition on that front. Despite Tracy's attempts to keep the children separated, Jason Morgan was able to reunite Willow, Amelia, and Wiley. Drew dislikes Willow's evident gratitude. It appears that he wants to be the only hero in Willow's life and was envious when Jason emerged as the hero in this case. That, too, was a very important issue for Willow. Could Drew's jealousy foreshadow what happens next? Could Willow now develop a crush on Jason? The GH February sweeps foretell a major collapse for Willow and Drew. According to the leaks, someone will make Willow see Drew for who he is. Perhaps Jason will learn about his hookups with Nina and expose him in front of Willow. If that happens, we doubt Willow will want to continue her connection with Drew. However, she will undoubtedly require a shoulder to lean on, as she usually does. And we are ready to wager that she would like Jason to have that shoulder. Because savior. But, how will Drew react to this? We doubt he'd walk out without a fight. Even if Jason has no interest in Willow, Drew may begin to blame him for attempting to steal her from him. Or perhaps blame him for the split. Will Drew utilize his congressman status to cause problems in Jason's life? Brad's outrageous request, Emma against Anna, and Chase's bombshell. Fans should expect Brad Cooper to make some outlandish request. Carly Spencer receives a warning. Anna Devane confronted Emma Scorpio Drake. Also, Lulu Spencer confides in Maxie Jones. General Hospital spoilers: Laura Collins panics. GH spoilers suggest that Lucky Spencer and Elizabeth Liz Baldwin are still seeking answers. Lucky and Liz will take a potentially deadly risk. Meanwhile, Jason Morgan is tearing into Anna. Laura Collins discusses her concerns with Lulu. According to the preview clip for Monday's episode, Laura is concerned about someone who is going down the wrong path. Sonny Corinthos will also appear on Monday's episode, along with Christina Corinthos Davis. However, Christina is immediately dubious about Sonny's travel plans. Nina Reeves also strategizes with Curtis Ashford. GH spoilers: Alexis Davis is reeling from some kind of revelation. Trina Robinson attempts to encourage Kai Taylor. Carly receives words of caution. Emma eventually confronts Anna. Harrison Chase also shares some news with Brooklyn Quartermaine. According to General Hospital teasers, Tracy Quartermaine's run-in with Dante Falconeri will leave him stunned. Tracy Quartermaine has another argument with Martin Gray. Cody Bell is caught off guard. GH spoilers: Carly will grow even closer to Jack Brennan. Lulu confides in Maxie. Christina and Molly Lansing Davis get terrible facts. Chase receives an update from Dante. Additionally, Cody makes assumptions. General Hospital spoilers: Brad makes an unusual request. Meanwhile, Laura shares some advice with Lulu. Brooke Lynn goes searching for Cody. Dante and Anna face off. Additionally, Rick Lansing and Ava Jerome have a unique request. Which narrative are you looking forward to the most? What are your predictions for Brooke Lynn, Cody, Dante, Anna, Rick, and Ava? What does the future hold for Brad, Lulu, Maxie, Laura, Carly, Jack, Sonny, and the other Port Charles residents? The Quartermaine family's machinations. While Michael recovered in Germany, his will was not ignored. The Quartermain family, which is usually loyal to its own, rallied around him. Though he remained far away, Michael's resentment of Willow's infidelity and desire to align herself with Drew simmered, sparking plans to ensure his children's future. Tracy, always a force to be reckoned with, was among the first to act. Michael's objectives were carried out through Diane Miller, the Corinthos family's trusted attorney. A court order was quickly drafted, citing Willow's bad judgment as a grounds to doubt her suitability as a parent. Tracy, motivated by her own hatred against Willow, made certain that every piece of evidence depicted Willow as careless and unfit of custody. With Michael's commands reverberating across the Atlantic, the family resolved to fight tooth and nail to bring Wiley and Amelia into the Quartermain fold. Willow's struggle. Willow's world shattered with each passing instant. She had made a strategic decision to move into the gatehouse, believing it would provide her children with a feeling of normalcy. However, as she heard whispers of legal battles and custody conflicts, she recognized how insecure her position was. Willow groaned with regret. Dropping the charges against Tracy suddenly looked like a huge mistake. Tracy, encouraged by her freedom, became a powerful foe. Willow could not handle the thought of losing custody of her children, but the Quartermain's power and influence made it a real possibility. Drew remained by her side, providing comfort and support. Nonetheless, even he knew the tough task they faced. The Quartermains were more than just a family, they were an institution. Going up against them took more than just love and dedication, it also required resources, which Willow and Drew lacked. A mother's resolution. Willow was no stranger to adversity. Her road had been fraught with loss and adversity, but she had always overcome it. This time, though, the stakes were bigger than ever. Losing Wiley and Amelia would devastate her. She decided to fight, even if the odds were stacked against her. She turned to Curtis Ashford, a man renowned for his investigation skills and aptitude to discover buried secrets. They began putting together a strategy. Curtis' observations provided a ray of hope, but he warned Willow about the hardships ahead. The Quartermains play dirty, he warns. If you want to win, you'll need to be prepared to do the same. Willow paused. Her moral compass had always guided her choices, but this struggle required a different strategy. She needed to decide how far she would go to defend her children. Michael's return. Across the Atlantic, Michael's rehabilitation was steady. His thoughts, however, remained fixed on the situation at home. Diane and Tracy provided him with updates, and he began to arrange his future homecoming. Michael was furious with Willow and Drew. He felt betrayed as both a husband and a father. Willow's actions, in his opinion, were a threat to his family's stability and security. Determined to set things right, he planned for a court battle that would solidify his status as Wiley and Amelia's only guardian. His return to Port Charles was meticulously planned, exactly timed to meet with the custody court. The sight of Michael, strong and determined, sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Willow's determination slipped briefly, but she immediately regained it. This was one fight she couldn't afford to lose. The custody battle. The courtroom became the setting for an intense battle. Diane, representing Michael, portrayed Willow as a mother whose poor decisions jeopardized her children's well-being. She emphasized Willow's involvement with Drew, citing it as proof of her instability. Willow's attorney responded by underlining her commitment to her children and efforts to give them with a caring home. Curtis' inquiry turned up important details that called into question the Quartermain's story, but the battle was far from done. Michael's testimony was essential. He expressed his love for Wiley and Amelia and his wish to give them with a secure, supportive home. His statements struck a chord with the judge, but they were also a brutal reminder of his family's fissures. The verdict. The judge's judgment was the result of weeks of debate, evidence, and emotional testimony. In the end, Michael received primary custody of Wiley and Amelia. Willow's heart broke when she recognized the gravity of the loss. While she retained visiting rights, their family dynamic had permanently changed. Moving forward. The consequences of the custody struggle left deep scars on everyone involved. Michael's success was bittersweet. He had ensured his children's future but also broke relations with Willow. Drew, devastated by the outcome, became a pillar of support for her, although the stress of the situation challenged their bond. Willow saw the loss as a turning moment. She resolved to restore her life and establish herself as a mother. The road ahead was uncertain, but she was determined to fight for her children's love and trust. "Jason," Sasha said nervously, her breath apparent in the chilly air. "I have something to tell you. Something big." Jason focused his piercing blue eyes on her, his countenance calm and attentive. "I'm listening," he replied simply. Sasha took a deep breath and delivered the truth she had been concealing. "I'm pregnant," she announced, her voice barely above a whisper. "And the father is Michael." Jason's brow furrowed slightly, but he simply nodded. He had already heard about Sasha and Michael Corinthos one night together, but he had not anticipated it to come to this. "Michael will be overjoyed once he finds out," Jason told her. "He's always wanted a family, and you're giving him a beautiful gift." Sasha gave a weak smile, her eyes gleaming with unshed tears. "I am afraid, Jason. After all that has happened, losing Liam and Brando, I am frightened of what could go wrong." Jason put a soothing touch on her shoulder. "Sasha, you're stronger than you believe. You don't have to do this alone. If you ever need assistance, I'm here. Just let me know what you need." Unbeknownst to them, Cody Bell was hiding behind a stack of crates. He hadn't intended to eavesdrop, but when he heard Sasha's voice, his curiosity took over. He only heard pieces of their conversation, including Sasha's statement of becoming pregnant and Jason's pledge to be there for her. Cody saw the pieces as a puzzle, but the picture he created was far from accurate. As Cody snuck away, his mind was racing with assumptions. "Jason and Sasha?" he muttered to himself. "I never saw that coming." The idea that Jason was the father of Sasha's kid felt absurd, but the words he overheard appeared to prove it. Cody was not one to keep important facts to himself. The following day, Cody's misunderstanding grew as he shared his discovery with everybody who would listen. Over coffee at Kelly's diner, he discussed it to a few regulars, his tone a mix of surprise and mischief. "You won't believe this," Cody stated, leaning across the counter. "I overheard Sasha talking with Jason last night. She's pregnant, and I believe Jason is the father." The rumors spread like wildfire. Within hours, the entire town was chattering about Sasha and Jason's alleged secret. The story ultimately got to Carly Spencer, who confronted Jason at the gym. "Jason," Carly replied, arms crossed and a doubtful expression on her face. "What am I hearing about you and Sasha? Is there anything you forgot to tell me?" Jason scowled, clearly confused. "What are you talking about?" he asked. "Don't play dumb," Carly insisted. "The whole town thinks you're the father of Sasha's baby." Jason's expression tightened as he realized what was happening. "That's not true," he stated firmly. "Sasha is pregnant, but the baby is not mine. It is Michael's." Carly's eyes widened in amazement. "Michael? Does he know?" "Not yet," Jason explained. "Sasha hasn't told him." Meanwhile, Sasha was unaware of the allegations spreading around her. She concentrated on preparing for her kid, seeing physicians, and navigating the emotional complexities of her circumstance. Cody approached her in Charlie's pub, and she recognized something was wrong. "Congratulations, Sasha," Cody remarked with a cheeky smile. "Didn't know you and Jason were so close." Sasha froze, her heart sinking. "Cody, what are you talking about?" "Oh, come on," he joked. "The baby. Jason is there for you. Everything makes sense." "You have no idea what you're talking about," Sasha said, her tone chilly. "You overheard something you shouldn't have, and now you're spreading lies." Cody's grin vanished, replaced with an ashamed expression. "I didn't mean any harm," he explained. "I just thought." "You thought wrong," Sasha interjected. "And now I have to clean up the mess you made." The misunderstanding caused Sasha to reveal her pregnancy earlier than she had planned. With Jason's help, she set up a video connection with Michael, who was still recovering from his injuries overseas. "Michael," Sasha said, her voice shaking. "I've got something crucial to tell you. I am pregnant. The baby is yours." Michael's face lit up with a combination of surprise and excitement. "Are you serious?" he inquired, his voice filled with emotion. "Sasha, that's amazing news." The two enjoyed a meaningful moment, but Sasha knew the journey ahead would be difficult. She had to deal with rumors, the opinions of others, and the difficulties of single parenting. But, for the first time in a long time, she felt optimistic about her future. The presence of Jens Sidwell had brought a layer of mystery to Port Charles. Sidwell's name alone provided a sense of mystery. He was a wealthy and enigmatic guy who had lately purchased Spoon Island's iconic Windermere estate. Windermere, with its Gothic grandeur and expansive grounds, was a stronghold of secrets, and it now belonged to a man as mysterious as the estate itself. Ava initially met Sidwell on an unassuming afternoon at her art gallery. She had been methodically organizing a new collection when a tall, immaculately dressed man entered. His sharp features and piercing stare exuded authority, which quickly drew Ava's attention. Introducing himself as Jens Sidwell, he exhibited an interest in buying items to decorate his new home. The casual talk gradually evolved into an intriguing exchange laced with covert flirting. Sidwell's enthusiasm for art appeared genuine, but Ava couldn't deny the underlying charm he radiated. As they talked about the subtleties of the artworks, Ava became more curious about him. Why had he chosen to relocate to Spoon Island, which is cloaked in mystery and haunted by the Cassadine legacy? Sidwell's replies were purposefully unclear, which piqued her interest even more. "You should come by Windermere," he said, his tone welcoming but tinged with something she couldn't identify. "It's a bit empty right now, but I'm sure your eye for design could help bring it to life." Ava's interest was piqued. She agreed to go, not sure if her reason was professional or personal. After all, Sidwell was the perfect man for her convoluted life, charming, wealthy, and possibly deadly. The following evening, Ava found herself on a boat bound for Spoon Island. The ride across the river was just as frightening as she remembered, with mist winding around the vessel like phantom fingers. Windermere loomed ahead, its form strikingly visible against the starry sky. Memories of her time there as part of the Cassadine drama resurfaced, but Ava dismissed them. This was a fresh chapter, and she was not going to let the past control her future. Sidwell met her at the door, his demeanor as polished as always. He escorted her through Windermere's vast halls, pointing her areas that he planned to remodel. Ava's sharp eye for detail picked up on the small changes that were already beginning. Sidwell wasn't simply moving in, he was claiming the entire place, eliminating all traces of its previous residents. As the tour went, their communication became increasingly intimate. Sidwell discussed his progress in the economic world, his travels throughout Europe, and his decision to settle in Port Charles. Ava listened intently, her defenses firmly in place. When they had settled into the sitting room, Sidwell poured them each a glass of wine. The mood was intimate and fraught with unsaid tension. "You seem at home here already," Ava said, swirling her wine. "Most people find Windermere overwhelming." "Overwhelming can be exhilarating," Sidwell responded, his gaze fixed on hers. "I've always believed in accepting challenges. Furthermore, a setting like this demands someone who understands its majesty." Ava could not argue with that. She had previously thought of Windermere as a prison, but Sidwell's perspective was refreshing. Perhaps it was time to reassess her connection with the estate. The bond between Ava and Sidwell became stronger over time. He visited the gallery frequently, and their interactions got more fun and suggestive. Sidwell's charisma was evident, and Ava found herself pulled to him unexpectedly. But she was no stranger to the traps of attraction, particularly with guys who had secret objectives. Meanwhile, Sidwell's presence in Port Charles was creating ripples. Rick Lansing, a character notorious for his own brand of manipulation, was immediately hostile to the newcomer. Rick's doubts regarding Sidwell's intentions intensified as he witnessed his blossoming friendship with Ava. Rick's feelings for Ava were complicated, one of him admired her strength, while another wished to keep her from making another mistake. Rick's cautions were ignored when he attempted to address Ava. "You don't even know him," Rick argued during a heated conversation in the gallery. "Men like Sidwell don't settle down without a reason, and it's usually not a good one." Ava's remark was incisive as always. "What makes you an expert on Jen Sidwell? Or me, for that matter? I've come this far without your advice, Rick. I believe I will survive." Rick was clearly frustrated, but Ava was not about to let anyone influence her decisions. She had spent far too long under the influence of others. This was her life, and she planned to spend it on her own terms. As Ava and Sidwell became closer, rumors about their relationship started to spread. Port Charles was a community where secrets were rarely kept, and their relationship was no different. While some suspected that Ava was only interested in Sidwell's riches, others questioned whether they had a true attachment for each other. Sidwell, for his part, appeared to be sincerely interested in Ava. He showered her with presents, including an amazing piece of jewelry from Europe, and invited her to exclusive gatherings. Ava's confidence soared as she began this new chapter, but she couldn't shake the idea that Sidwell's interest in her might be contingent on certain conditions. Things took a sinister turn when Ava discovered a locked door during one of her visits to Windmere. The door appeared unassuming, but her senses told her it was hiding something crucial. When she asked Sidwell about it, his reaction was evasive. "Every old house has its secrets," he added with a smile. "Let's not dwell on the past when the future looks so bright." Ava's interest was piqued, but she chose to play along for now. She knew better than to press too hard, especially since she didn't have all the pieces of the puzzle. As the weeks went, the stakes became bigger. Sidwell's financial operations came under examination, and rumors of illicit activity began to circulate. Rick's suspicions were confirmed when he discovered evidence linking Sidwell to a mysterious criminal network. Armed with this information, Rick contacted Ava again, hoping to warn her before it was too late. "He's not who you think he is," Rick explained, handing her a packet containing paperwork. "If you're going to get involved with him, you need to know the truth." Ava's hand trembled as she opened the folder. The contents were damning, but she refused to reveal her emotions. Instead, she closed the folder and faced Rick with steely determination. "I appreciate your concern, Rick, but I can handle myself," she told him. "Whatever Sidwell's done, I'll deal with it my way." The news of Sidwell's past changed the course of their relationship. Ava confronted him one evening and demanded answers. To her amazement, Sidwell did not reject the claims. Instead, he spoke up about his troubled past and his efforts to leave it behind. "I came to Port Charles for a fresh start," Sidwell admitted. "Ava, meeting you has been the nicest thing that's happened to me. I do not want to lose that." Ava's heart trembled. She had seen enough dishonesty in her life to understand sincerity, and she believed Sidwell had genuine affections for her. However, trust was a quite different matter. As the drama progressed, Ava found herself at a crossroads. Sidwell's society was dangerous, but it also presented an opportunity for her to restore power and position. It was unclear whether she would emerge as a victim or a victor, but one thing was certain: Ava Jerome wasn't done yet. Port Charles was a town where relationships changed like the tides, and Ava knew she had to keep one step ahead. With Sidwell by her side, the risks were greater than ever, but so were the rewards. Only time will tell whether their collaboration would result in victory or disaster. An unlikely encounter. Cody's arrest had become the gossip of the town, and Molly's determination to confront him in person was motivated by more than professional obligation. She wanted answers regarding his role in a recent bar altercation, but what she got was a closer look at a man who refused to be readily characterized. "You've got quite the reputation," Molly said, crossing her arms as she stood outside his cell. Her tone was harsh, yet her curiosity betrayed her. Cody smirked and leaned easily against the cold metal bars. "And you've got quite the stick-up." He hesitated and softened his tone. "Look, you are here to judge me, right? Go ahead. But don't pretend you have it all figured out." Their verbal dance continued, with each probing the other's defenses. Cody's laid-back manner seemed to frighten Molly, who wasn't used to having her authority challenged. She couldn't deny, however, that his candor was disarming. A test of chemistry. The interaction seemed more than just a casual meeting. It was as if the writers of Port Charles were laying the groundwork for something bigger. Molly's fiery resolve clashed with Cody's devil-may-care attitude, resulting in an electrifying dynamic. As Molly prepared to leave, Cody said, "Hey, little Miss Perfect, don't work too hard. You might genuinely begin to have fun." Molly turned around, her gaze sharpening. "And you might want to consider not being such a five-star ass." Cody's smirk deepened, and for a brief moment, the rest of the world slipped away. Their differences were stark, but perhaps that is what made the relationship so appealing. Do opposites attract? The citizens of Port Charles are accustomed to unusual pairings, and the prospect of Molly and Cody forging a friendship, whether romantic or platonic, has already sparked controversy. Molly's separation with TJ Ashford left an emotional gap that she has struggled to fill. Meanwhile, Cody's ill-fated relationship with Sasha left him longing for a new beginning. Molly and Cody's different characteristics could result in a classic opposites attract scenario. Molly's discipline and intellect might complement Cody's free-spirited personality, whilst Cody's ability to live in the moment could teach Molly to relax. The potential for progress is great, both individually and collectively. The road ahead. If their chemistry is explored further, it might result in multiple fascinating scenarios. A one-night stand would undoubtedly mess things up, especially considering Molly's reputation as a strict overachiever. However, there is still the prospect of a deeper connection. Could Cody be the one to question Molly's strict worldview? Could Molly help Cody discover a sense of purpose beyond his turbulent past? Even if romance isn't in the cards, a strong friendship may develop. Molly's capacity to see the good in others may encourage Cody to speak up about his troubles, whilst Cody's unabashed honesty may force Molly to confront her own flaws. They may form a powerful team by combining Molly's legal acumen and Cody's street smarts. Complications and conflict. Of course, no romance in Port Charles is without complications. Cody's troubled past and inclination to draw problems may clash with Molly's job goals and family expectations. The Lansing Davis clan would be upset if Molly became associated with someone like Cody, and the Quartermains would most certainly have their own thoughts on Cody's ties to the family. Cody's lingering love for Sasha, as well as his future relationship with Lulu Spencer, could complicate matters. Molly, too, may experience leftover feelings for TJ, especially if he re-enters the picture. These problems would lend depth to their story, making their possible bond all the more compelling. A new chapter for Molly. Molly's experiences in Port Charles have frequently been determined by her relationships with her family and her professional goals. A tale involving Cody would allow her to break free from those restraints and explore new aspects of her personality. It would also show viewers a different side of her, one who is willing to take chances and welcome the unexpected. Cody's redemption arc. Cody's friendship with Molly could be the start of a redemption narrative. He's made his share of mistakes, but Molly's belief in second chances may motivate him to change his life. Together, they might demonstrate that even the most unexpected combinations may result in growth and transformation. The audience weighs in. As General Hospital fans wonder on what will happen next to Cody and Molly, the possibilities are numerous. Whether they become lovers, friends, or just allies, their dynamic is guaranteed to provide new vitality to the play. The only question is whether Port Charles's latest odd couple can make it work, or if their differences are too vast to overcome. Whispers of change in Port Charles. Meanwhile, Port Charles thrived on its typical mix of intrigue, secrets, and unexpected alliances. In Michael's absence, Sasha Gilmore found comfort in an odd confidant, Jason Quartermain. Jason, the stoic and dependable one, had been her anchor, providing her with strength as she prepared for her child's birth. Their friendship formed in peaceful moments. Sasha, who was still dealing with her own grief and loss, found Jason's constant presence to be a soothing balm. Jason, for his part, appreciated Sasha's resilience and the quiet fire that refused to die despite everything she'd been through. Their meetings evolved into something deeper, a connection that neither expected nor fought. The chemistry between them remained subdued, but it was apparent. they built a relationship based on trust, mutual respect, and a shared resolve to defend people they cared about. Michael's resolve. While healing thousands of miles away, Michael often thought about Sasha. He had left her with the burden of parenting their child alone, which gnawed at him every day. During the solitary nights in his clinic room, he realized how much he wanted to be a part of his child's and Sasha's lives. Memories of their shared experiences repeated in his head. Despite their difficult voyage, Michael couldn't shake his affections for Sasha. The possibility of returning to her, and possibly restoring what they had, became a motivating factor in his recovery. Complications await. Back in Port Charles, Sasha and Jason's romance continued to develop. Late-night discussions and moments of shared vulnerability laid the groundwork for something neither had anticipated. Sasha, grateful for Jason's steadfast support, wondered whether she could allow her heart to feel again. Jason, who is known for being guarded with his emotions, was unexpectedly pulled to Sasha. Unbeknownst to them, their blossoming bond was not occurring in isolation. Port Charles was a community where secrets rarely remained hidden, and rumors about their proximity began to circulate. By the time Michael returned, the setting had been set for an emotional encounter. A tense homecoming. When Michael eventually arrived in Port Charles, his heart was filled with hope and determination. However, the reality he faced was far more convoluted. Sasha's life had changed, and her connection to Jason was apparent. Michael found this both shocking and challenging. Jason, true to his nature, was conflicted. His commitment to Michael collided with his developing love for Sasha. However, stepping aside was not an easy decision, especially since he sincerely cared for her. Sasha found herself caught between the two men. Her past with Michael was apparent, but her bond with Jason was unique and genuine. As the three maneuvered their intertwined emotions, the route ahead became increasingly hazy. The road ahead. Port Charles thrived on unpredictability, and this circumstance was no different. As Michael attempted to restore his place in Sasha's life, Jason struggled with his devotion and wants. Sasha, for her part, grappled with reconciling her past, present, and future. What would happen to this love triangle? Could Michael and Jason keep their relationship, or would their shared love for Sasha tear them apart? And, most crucially, how would Sasha choose to proceed? Only time would tell, as Port Charles prepared for another story of love, loss, and redemption. Relationship issues, new partnerships are forming, while others are disintegrating. Carly is becoming closer to Brennan as he helps her understand what happened to Michael. He's been her knight in shining armor, so she feels she owes him. Will the stubborn blonde receive a warning from Jason? Speaking of Jason, he and Sasha will speak next week. Will she inform him that she is carrying Michael's baby? He knows Michael wanted to see her before he was sedated, but he does not know why, yet. Brooklyn and Chase have been unable to conceive, and they may face another setback next week. How many more can their marriage handle, especially given the enormous secret she has been keeping? Drew isn't afraid to use whatever means necessary, and he refuses to let anyone keep Willow away from him. What will happen when he meets Martin? As the young adult scene heats up, Emma is prepared to challenge Anna. She is entering the wild phase, and her interest in Geo has been demonstrated. Anna will talk to her grandchild next week, but it won't help. Joss is unquestionably Carly's daughter. She is determined to show Cyrus is responsible for Dex's death, even if it means risking her own life. Will she help catch him before it's too late? Trina will help Kai deal with the fact that he will never play football again. She's been a consistent buddy for him, albeit one who isn't in his orbit due of football. As the February sweeps approach, a budding relationship may be in the works. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.